In terms of the Venezuelan government, there's still uncertainty on what's going to happen in the next few days. Yeah, so after that statement from Trump, all we have seen so far from the Venezuelan government is a video from Vladimir Padrino Lopez, the defense minister. He essentially just published a video from a few minutes, and the rough translation would be something along the lines of saying Venezuela was targeted. At this moment, certain places have been targeted, which we've talked about throughout the night. And obviously he's condemning the attack from the US and saying it's a violation of the sovereignty and asking the people to kind of stand with the country. However, I do know now this just means for the people, like there's uncertainty of who's going to rule. There has been talks about the VP Delcy, and I know that was part of Maduro's kind of like exit strategy. He did request if that to be one of the clauses, like if I do leave, I want Delcy to be the president in charge. However, we need to consider that the current government, or let's say the Maduro regime, was not a legitimate government. There was an election last year in which Maduro lost exponentially. Edmundo Gonzalez won the election. However, the dictatorship was not going to step down even through a democratic process, because over the last 27 years, Venezuela hasn't been a democratic country. So regardless of the election's result, the government stayed in power, including Chavez. Then Chavez passed away and Maduro just kind of stepped in. Even though he was not as popular as Chavez and he did not win the elections, he continued to stay in power. So last year, there were some elections that were not respected. The Venezuelan vote was not respected as well, and Maduro just continued in power. So technically, Maduro was not a legitimate president, although he stayed in power. So a regime change or a change in who's going to lead the country now that Maduro is not in power is still very uncertain. Whether the Chavismo and then the government in place just places one of their own and continues this legacy, let's call it, El Chavismo, the same way Maduro stepped in. It's a possibility. However, there could also be the opposition coming in, or there could be an election, but it is definitely going to be an uncertain few days in Venezuela, maybe months. But at the moment, Vladimir, they didn't even mention anything about Maduro being captured. So in terms of the Venezuelan government, there's still uncertainty on what's going to happen in the next few days.